Alrighty. I picked up two 562 XPs. Well, one's an XPG, one's an XP. XP, yeah. And I really like the saw. But a couple of years ago, I built this 261C. Okay? And what I have on here is a different drum, which allows me to run picco drive sprockets. I'll bring it up here and show it to you. I don't know if you can see it. That's your P7. There we go. You can see it in the light. P7, P8. And if you notice, the spline on it, spline being this is the part that's going to go on your drum there, is smaller than a standard. Okay? This bar also has the standard slot width. So you can put this on any saw that has a steel mount. Okay? Now, what does this do for you? Well, on this size of a saw, you know, with it being built and ported, you know, you're probably tickling 55% stock faster over stock, which is it's a lightning bolt, you know. So, like I said, I got two of these, an XP and an XPG. This is the XPG, and this one's got more time on it. And what I did on this one here is I originally mounted the muffler, and I went ahead and built, you know, one of these Rowdy pipes for it. But as far as the engine is basically stock. These, you know, I see a lot of videos on YouTube. Guys are cutting the bases, cutting the squish, grinding away. And they don't seem like they're really picking up that much for all that time and effort and work. And then, you know, potentially losing life out of it. I don't think it's worth it, personally. That's why I brought up the 261, okay? The drivetrain that I showed you on that 261 can be put on this saw. The bar and the chain will fit. But what you have to do is you have to have a sprocket that fits this OEM drum. Unless you want to get into spending a lot of money. You could probably get another drum from this, another clutch, the whole 9 yards. But the way I'm doing it is you can get another sprocket and you can get this spline. Now this is a steel, well that's the picco. That's the picco, I'm sorry. This is the steel. This is a 404. Okay? Now if you notice, that spline is different. I don't know if you can see it. You probably see a little better like that. The one on my right here has got a bigger spline. This will fit on there, and then you can just put your picco bar and chain on there. This won't, okay? So what this is, let me show you the little piece I made up on the lathe. I mean, I'd show you, but I'd show me cutting one, but I already got another work piece in there. I don't want to take it out. So what you have here is little jig, little work holding tool, and you put your 404 on there, okay, And you want to kind of snug this bolt up, okay? Well, and what that will do, now this one's already turned down, but this will allow you, you know, this was machined already. You put this back in the lathe, make sure everything's clean, and then you go ahead and you indicate off of this piece here. Like I said, this one's already machined, but see, you can get it where you can move it around. You know, as this is spinning, indicate it in. And this is the little fixture you can use, okay? You know, make sure you got this nice and snug. And what you're going to do is you're going to measure the diameter of that picco rim, and then you want to turn that down, this 404, you want to turn that sucker down right to the same diameter. And as you can see, that's pretty goddamn close. It works. This way you have the right pitch. And then this can just bolt. You got to take your clutch off. You can pop this on. And then you could put that 16-inch picco bar and chain on here. And you're going to get, with this Rowdy pipe, with no machine work, no porting, nothing, with the Rowdy pipe and the picco bar, you're going to get about 40% over stock. And because you didn't do nothing to the motor, you didn't play with the compression, you're going to get excellent longevity. And for the power that you pick up, for the amount of gas, you're actually going to get better gas mileage with this system. So that's one thing there. Now, I've got a Canon, but like I said, the Canon you can get 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 inch. I think they make them up to 32 inch in picco. So they're available, but the only thing is they're expensive. But I just wanted to try it. And with the Canon 20-inch bar, like I said, you're getting about 40, 45%. And all we're doing is stock saw, Rowdy pipe, turn down this sprocket, and then run the picco chain, 20-inch. Now, I'm not advocating or telling anybody what to do. This is just an experiment that I've done. And, you know, rather than try and perform miracles here with these cylinders, because, you know, just about everybody I'm seeing on YouTube, they're really not getting much out of it. Now, I know when I built the 572, we checked it out. Get this product called Vitamold, and then you can check everything out, measure everything, and I mean, that cylinder was pretty good. And that one there, I just did a little bit of light work. I mean, I could go back and put a Rowdy pipe on that and pick up some more, and I may do that. But a lot of guys like these 562s, and, you know, with this pipe, and with either with that steel 16, or preferably, you know, a 20-inch bar with that picco chain and that setup. Like I said, the only bad thing about it is the bar is expensive. But I'm gonna tell you right now, those Canon bars, I personally say those are the best. You'll go through, you know, they'll last up to 3 times longer than anything else. You keep flipping them, and then you file them and take care of them or whatever. They'll last you for a lot of wood. But, I mean, you could go into this and do, I mean, myself personally, the air filter, I'll tell you what I did to this saw. The air filter, all I did was that I went around the air filter base and just put some grease on there. Just greased around the lip. You can buy something or make something But you know, Husqvarna really has the air filter down. I mean, I know I could pick up something there, but this is, and I like the look of it. We'll just leave that. The cylinder, I didn't do nothing to. Now, I could pull this off. I could do a little bit of mods to the piston. But the ports, you know, I see a lot of guys, they want to grind out that ridge or whatever. It's your saw, your nickel, do whatever you want. I wouldn't touch that ridge. I'd leave that in there. But that, again, your saw, your nickel, you do whatever the heck you want to do. I did block off the compression release. And we got the pipe. And she picked up, I believe over stock, she picked up about 25, 26%. And on the other one over here, on this one here, because I got two of these, and this one's got the Rowdy Pipe, but this one's got a little bit more. And I'd probably do the same that I did to this one as I would do to this. But as far as machining the base, cutting the squish, and grinding away, like, you know, I see some of these guys doing, you're better off, and this is just my opinion, you're better off putting a 404 sprocket on there, a picco drivetrain, and then a pipe of your choice. Whether I make it or you make it yourself, muffler mod. There's a couple guys out there that got the kind of like snake pipes or whatever. Buck and Billy's, if you ever watch Buck and Billy Ray, he's got them on there. They're loud. This is loud too. I mean, but you're just not going to beat the performance. No, there's no way that somebody's going to get enough performance and still get the fuel mileage and economy. And that's to me, that's I want to use these for work, or if I'm going to build one for somebody, it's got to be for work. You know, I just watched a video a couple weeks ago where one of these was blown up, and the guy was saying, well, you know, I got 1 million board feet out of it. Yeah. 1 million board feet, really, I mean, it sounds impressive, but that's really not a lot. I mean, there's guys that get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million board feet out of their saws. Okay? I mean, that only equates to less than 165 hours of runtime. That's not a lot of time. And they're not running no better than what you got here. Matter of fact, you know, I got this with that picco chain, just with this muffler on there. This thing's going to stomp on them. You know, unless they got this thing almost at a race level. Okay, then I get it. But like I said, I just figured I'd share that with you. And that's what I would do to this saw. I just leave the air intake stock. I put a pipe on here. You know, leave this. If you want to go in there and do a little bit, but just do very little work. You don't have to cut the squish on this. Squish is 30 thousandths on this thing. I mean, that's another thing. Everybody, oh, the squish, whatever. Look it. Does it make more power? Sure. How much? Well, how much does it do in the wood? Not more than the difference between a picco and this. I mean, a picco chain versus 3/8, it's probably 15, 20% faster. So, like I said, leave the stock filter, plug this, leave the motor stock to begin with, put on a Rowdy Pipe, or whatever your favorite pipe of choice, or mod your muffler, and then, as I explained earlier, you know, put on a picco chain and sprocket. Now, you know, I don't take no responsibility for this, whatever you want. This is just something I'm doing for myself. I'm just showing it on here. I'm just showing you a way, because a lot of people like these saws. I'm just showing you a way to get yourself a nice 40%, have a nice long-lasting, cool-running saw, and the amount of wood you can cut for the fuel is unbelievable. And that's all I'm showing. You know, Now, I've had that 261 built for several years. That thing's probably got about 5 horsepower. I've never had a problem with the chain or whatever. This has got a little more power and torque. So again, I'm not advocating anybody doing this. I'm just showing you what I've done, and I've gotten very good results. I mean, to me personally, if you're going to spend the money, get your pipe, and then switch to an 18-inch or a 20-inch picco bar and be done with it. And go cut wood, and the thing's just going to go like a laser.